thing is to get this swinging motion with no movement of the hand as a whole. So this is bad. This is good. Hi, I'm Jay. In this video I'm going to show you what I think is the best basic strumming technique, whether you're an acoustic player or an electric player. Just before I demonstrate it, I will tell you that it uses fingers, not a plectrum, but I urge all plectrum players to learn to strum with your fingers. Fingers for strumming, plectrum for lead work, as Joe Pass, the great jazz musician, famously did. Plectrums are best for lead guitar, fingers are best for rhythm. In my mind, this is an unarguable fact. Yes, plectrum strumming is louder and stronger, but you're stuck with up and down strokes, that's it. Fingers are far more versatile. Just stick your plectrum in your mouth when you're doing rhythm work. Or you might want to consider doing something like I've done. I've stuck a flat pick to a thumb band so I can switch between the two effortlessly. There's more to say about this, but that's probably another video. Right, without further ado, I will now show you the best method for basic up and down strumming. Then we will look at it in more detail. So the technique is just downstrokes with the back of the eye finger, upstrokes with the back of the thumb. But there's a bit more detail we need to go into. Okay, so first you need to practice up and down strumming with one finger. So for this technique, you're either going to use your I or your M finger, or as I do, I'll mix it up between the two. We're just going to deal with these two fingers to begin with. So first with I, just on an E minor chord. Let's just go for an E minor chord. Let's just point a couple of things out. There's no movement of the hand as a whole. This is important. You don't want any of that. You can rest your thumb somewhere to help support it on your guitar or on the bottom E string, or not at all. It's up to you. The finger movement comes from the knuckle where it joins the hand and you move the finger as a whole. You can feel from the wrist to the knuckle moving, that's where the muscles, that's where it all kind of comes from. Don't worry about how many strings you're catching. This will lead to this sort of thing. If you're trying to get all the strings, don't worry, you probably won't catch them all, that's okay. The important thing is to get this swinging motion with no movement of the hand as a whole. Now just do the same thing with M. Don't worry about sympathetic movement of the other fingers. It's important to make a nice strong sound with the outstroke. Really make it as loud and strong as you can. This will help build up the muscles, the outward muscles. Okay, next you need to practice strumming with P. Again, with no movement of the hand as a whole and with particular emphasis on the upstroke. I'll take my pick off again. Now again, you can rest fingers there if you like, or just not at all. Thumb moves from the wrist, so from the tip of the thumb to the wrist is the basic unit that you're moving. Okay, you're not moving any of that, it's that. Notice as you raise your wrist more, you get more of the nail. Okay. Now by doing these two things, the fingers and the thumb, you will develop the outward muscles of the fingers, the extensors, which are always weaker than the inward muscles, the flexors. Now the next step. You may have noticed plectrum players, when they don't have a plectrum at hand and they need to strum, they do this. You may indeed do this yourself. You hold P and I together as if you were holding a plectrum. pretend plectrum strumming, I call it. Now, make sure you can do this and do it with a rotation of the forearm. This is the point we're making here, not a movement of the elbow. So the forearm is rotating like so, none of this. So this is bad. This is good. Okay, that's the rotation with the fingers just slightly together and not moving at all. So now we have practiced strumming with the fingers and thumb without moving the hand at all to really strengthen those muscles, and we practice strumming by just rotating the arm and the hand and not moving the fingers at all. So finally, as you may have guessed, the actual technique we're aiming for is a combination of these two. So we'll build it up in 2 steps. We're going to start with pretend plectrum strumming. Let's get my E minor chord back. And then gently relax P and I so that they're not touching, and start adding a bit of outward movement to each of them. So I'll start with pretend plectrum and then go into the outward movement. Now without outward movement. I'll come in a bit closer so you can really see it, if that helps. And that's it. At this point, I should say that I find it easier using P and M rather than P and I, because it's stronger. M is naturally stronger than I, so you will probably find the same. I actually mix it up between the two. I can also get it faster using M. Speaking of getting it faster, you'll notice as you speed up, as with most things, the movements get smaller. So we can start slowly building up. When I go into top speed there, it looks like I'm not moving the arm at all, but I am. If I do it without moving the arm at all, it looks like this. If I can do it. There, it feels stilted to me. I can get it all right, but then I add the arm movement and it suddenly flows more and relaxing. As with most things, don't try to do this. Trying leads to tension. So just enjoy doing it at whatever tempo you're comfortable, and you're getting it right and you're relaxed and you're not stressing and there's no tension and you're not trying, and just get joy out of doing that. Playing the guitar is easy. If it feels hard, then you're doing it wrong. I'm Jay. Thank you for watching. Please like me and subscribe. It's free and it makes me feel loved.